Try HelloFresh UK to get 60% off your first box, 25% off for 2 months, and to, of course, help support this channel. Link is down in the description. Thank you for your support. Well, you may remember a couple of months ago, two of our star players were sold to Shimizu. Well, today we've got a reunion with them, and at the moment, we're above them in the table. We also face Urawa Reds, who are managed by the former Yokohama manager. They're the other club that turned us down a year and a half ago. So today is all about reunions and revenge. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 28 of the Head Coach with me, Daniel. We are back today for two big games for us, both personally and in terms of the transfer window for the club. We're coming up against a team that rejected us and against a club that signed half of our superstar team. If you're looking forward to seeing how we get on and finding out whether we can stay above both of them in the table, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. The transfer window is closed, the season is flowing, and you know what? We're doing all right. If you remember the last episode, we put in a brilliant performance in the Yokohama derby and somehow came out on the losing side, mainly due to some controversial decisions. But since then, we've bounced back. We've been held a few times, but if you compare the results to last season, we're doing pretty well. So we're going to start by having a little look at the schedule. You were with me for that 4-2 defeat in what was a brilliant performance, genuinely. But after that, a big 1-0 win at home to Kashima. We took a bit of a gamble in this one. We played our first team. They made lots of changes and rotated the squad, whereas we knew we were going to have 3 or 4 coming back from injury at the weekend. So we kind of took a gamble and it worked. Now, it wasn't as good a performance or as clear-cut a win. Sakuragawa scored an early goal and then Hatano was unbelievable. But we still got the win, which is all that matters. We backed it up with an even better one at home to Kawasaki. In that one, we had a few players back from injury, particularly Kraliki in midfield being a star. And because some of the homegrown players were coming back from injury, it meant we could name a stronger bench. And I think that was probably evident. We got 3-0 up, but we didn't throw the game away quite so much. Yes, we let in one late goal, but Baluk scored a brace. He's been brilliant. And Sakuragawa got one more. The big tinge, though, is disappointment since the last episode, because I've said to you before, we're not going to win the league, and yes, it would be lovely if we could sneak an Asian Champions League place or a European place, as Al Nassr are starting to prove. Thank you for your comments a couple of episodes ago. I might be proven right yet. Asian sides can make the Champions League, potentially. But against Sapporo, we threw away what was a great opportunity in the Cup. We drew away from home with a backup team. We got a decent result there. Yes, we rotated again in this one because we did have to give people a rest. We'd played 3 games in a week before. We'd done brilliantly, but we were just out of puff. And if we played the first team, probably would have been even worse. But a 1-0 defeat in extra time as well. And that made the weekend harder. So it was just the worst case scenario, really. But against Shonan, we did bounce back. A 4-2 win away to one of the relegation strugglers. Agawa Nakano got his first for the club. And 2 for Sakuragawa, who is finding form again. We didn't find form in front of goal, though, against Gamba Osaka. We were pretty poor, but defensively, we did a solid enough job. Dropped points, but still a decent result. And probably the same for Imabari on Wednesday. It's going to lead to some problems today because, of course, these games are all 3 days apart. The Japanese season, so top-heavy. You're playing twice a week and then twice a month in the second half. But we drew 2-2. We got a very late equaliser. And it looked like it was going to be the usual before. Last season, Imabari played us off the park twice, and after 70 minutes, we were in big trouble. But Sakuragawa was absolutely knackered, despite playing okay. So I chucked Takahashi on up front, and he scored 2 to get us back on terms. So a big point, considering what happened against them last year, and what was happening in the game. But despite the fact the results have improved throughout the rest of the month, the best performance by a country mile is still the game we lost against Yokohama in the last episode. I don't think we've played better than that for quite a while. We'll see how we get on today. 2 big games against top sides in the league. FC Tokyo after that as well. The side that tried to steal Sakuragawa. They're up in 7th and doing nicely. But we're going to get through to our 2 big games and see how we get on today. Dynamics are looking good. Lara's unhappy that we've sold Weno, but He's not a first teamer anymore, and that is a worry with him being the highest paid at the club, but we've put him on the transfer list as was recommended in the staff meeting, but there was no interest because he's on massive money and he's not that good anymore. So let's go and get through the fixtures. We've got Urawa at home, a few of the top sides in action today, but can we keep up what has been a good start to the year? We're fourth, we've got 25 points, and you know the league totals aren't going to be massive here. So if we can stay in that region of sort of 1.6 to 1.7 points per game, we should be able to compete in the chasing pack maybe for continental football. But let's go and get through to the lineup. It's 4-4-2 for them. We've got tired legs. You can see Kraliki and Suzuki struggling. Two that have had problems with injury already. And the next game's only 4 days away. Then 3 days again. I'm going to have to rotate one or two. Let's go and get our lineup picked. We'll be back in a minute to run through it. Well, here we are then, and while we've taken a couple of gambles, we've kept the core of the team strong by going for the same back four, the same right wing back as well, but for Naki having to come in on the left because we're having real trouble with Suzuki this year. He is okay, but let's be honest, he's not setting the world alight, and he's very defensive minded, whereas Suzuki, as we saw in the last game, can produce magic. Lara, after talking him down, is going to have to start this one. With Kraliki struggling, he'll come in alongside Theatrical. And then it's Superstar Baluk behind the front two of Agawa and Takahashi, who I've bought in for Sakaragawa, mainly because he came off the bench, got those 2 goals. If he's not in confident form now, he's never going to be. Sakaragawa struggling, doesn't often get 3 games a week in, so I'm going to give him at least an hour off today. Hopefully we can go 2 or 3 up and he'll get the full 90 rested, but I'm not sure that's going to happen. Into the game we go, at home to Urawa Reds. The side that rejected us for a move 18 months ago. The side who took the Yokohama manager. And they've got a few good players of their own here. The likes of Bino Gittins are always a threat. Have they got any other stars in there? Not really. They've got a number 6 up front, which is pretty interesting. We'll keep an eye on that situation. But otherwise, we'll just tell the lads to get a result. Lara's nervous, so we'll say, I've got faith in you. Or no, there's no pressure. There we go. Let's have a look at this number 6. What's he like? Oh, he's a centre forward. They've just randomly given him the wrong shirt. Wow. 16 acceleration, 15 pace, 15 finishing and composure, 16 determination, 14 off the ball, 16 first touch and technique. He is literally the perfect little man striker, isn't he? He's also 5'11" and on nearly 40 grand a week. That's half our squad, man. What a team they've got. Oh, I'm so sad we didn't get that job. What a team. How on earth are they below us in the table with people like him and Bino Gittins? I don't know. Baluk just charges through from the kickoff. Balls for Takahashi. Back to Baluk. Oh my word. 12 seconds. 12 seconds to go ahead. Baluk just charged from the kickoff. It was passed to him and he went, right, you don't look ready for this. I'm going to go and sprint through the middle. Played a lovely one too with Takahashi, who's been brought in with an assist. That is about the best start to a game I've ever had in FM. I don't think I've ever scored a quicker goal, have I? Even in the distillery save when we were playing against semi-pro teams, I don't think we did that. We've got a problem at right back with Ashino. Is part of the issue with 3 games a week, but the good news is Ando is now trained at right wing back, which makes the bench a little easier to deal with. Not a great player, but young and homegrown. And hopefully he'll be able to keep us solid at the back because Urawa dominating the stats now. But that first minute did shell shock them, and now we've got it on the right. Agawa goes back to Fitzwater and Ando. The sub gives it away. Either not up to the speed of the game or not good enough. One of the two. But Luca's nicked it again though. Agawa in for Fitzwater. We're working hard. We're pressing well. We're not using the ball too well though. As Takahashi out towards Baluk. What a touch. I mean, he's rated pretty averagely in terms of his attributes, but he just looks an absolute gem every time he comes on the pitch. Takahashi combines with him again. Beluka scored 2. He has been remarkable this season. He is the best signing by a country mile, and I owe the director of football for that one, because I got upset when he signed him and didn't really put any effort in. But for about 50 grand, for a player that looks pretty average on paper, he might have got me an absolute gem. So well done to Sean Holmes for that one. 2-0 after half an hour. 2 shots, 2 on target, and 2 from Baluk, as we've got the ball to defend at the back. Kikuchi coming forward for Urawa. They go inside to Ono. he's got the chance to go back, but they're keeping the ball well and they're waiting for that opportunity. We've not kept many clean sheets this year and we're getting skinned on that wing now. Into Yada. I mean, he's never going to miss them, is he? He's on nearly 40 grand a week for a reason. He's a top striker for a reason. And they've probably deservedly got a goal back, but they look vulnerable defensively. As Lara wins a header for Baluk, they'll be petrified of him. Agawa to Takahashi. Oh, he's turned to the scorer. 2 assists and 1 goal. Now, if you could ever pick a man in form, and if you could ever pick a day to rest your star target man, there were probably fans looking at the team sheet today going, oh, I don't know about that. You're not playing the big target man, our top scorer last year. The man who's been in form throughout most of April. The man who replaced him has contributed to all 3 goals. He's been phenomenal. And he's outshining Baluk at the minute. It's been a great first half performance. It's been, to be honest, we've been less dominant than the Yokohama game in the last episode. But the difference is we're taking chances. We've got 2 men in form. And the only blot on the record really is the injury. Because I didn't expect a clean sheet. So I'm not worried about that. Oh, I tell you what though. What a ball across the box that was from Ando the sub. It's an unbelievable cross and no one's gone for it. Benaki's now picked up a knock as well. Bino Gittins has gone off for them. Maybe we're both struggling with fatigue. We've rotated a bit. They've gone full strength, I guess, and just taken a lack of fitness. And it seems to be harming them more. Benaki's bruised knee, I'm not going to take him off because it'll be Suzuki in midweek anyway. And now Bono Gittins has gone off. It might make it a little bit easier. As Ando does well there to Agawa. Clears downfield. Baluk will chase it. And it is 3-1 at half time. We had a heat map with no pitch there for a minute. I mean, Urawa have got the better expected goals. 2-1. So in a game where we've been the second best side and we should be 2-1 down, we're currently 3-1 up. It is definitely revenge for the last episode, isn't it? Well, we're approaching the hour mark and we're getting to the point where I've got to think about changes for midweek now. As Ando puts it into Funaki, just beaten in the air. A 4th goal and I'll start to feel comfortable. As Funaki again, back to theatrical. One of those I'm looking to take off. Baluk in again. He set up another. 3 goal contributions for him as well. Agawa gets the goal. It's brilliant stuff. We're just having one of those days where they all go in. The last episode we had a day where none of them went in. And this is very much the polar opposite. As Baluk's brought down, this could be a penalty. Now this would be perfect. Let's get the penalty. Let's get the goal. I presume Baluk will take it because he scored 2 already. And then if he can make it 5-1, penalty awarded, then we can make the subs. He scored it. Brilliant finish, Baluk. And now we can start to look at fresh legs. So Fitzwater, you come off for Shiba. We're going to bring off Theatrical in midfield for Morishima. And then I'll save the last 2 a few more minutes. In fact, no. Baluk's going to come off for Ishida. I've got to rest Baluk, haven't I? And then we'll take off one more defender in a few minutes. Perales or Nakano. And we'll bring on Sada, where I know it's not his natural position, but it'll do all right. And hopefully then, with Kraliki and Suzuki coming back in midweek, we'll be able to put out largely the first team again. Now we've got a problem. Takahashi's got a bruised ankle. I know this is cruel. Is he going to play in midweek? It's almost worth taking a risk, I think. So I'm going to leave it for 5 more. And then we'll probably take off Nakano instead. Oh, they've had a disaster. Their goalkeeper's got injured as well. We haven't had one of ours in game for a while. Touch wood, it won't be soon either. But that's a pretty big one for them. Nakano off for Sada. 5 changes now made. And then with the 2 men coming back in midweek, that should be at least 8 of the same 11 playing. Perales looks in pretty good nick, which should make it 9. And then it's just whether Agawa makes it and then maybe 1 or 2 others. But overall, this has been a dream day. Not been a vintage performance. It's been ruthless, but it's not been great. We've played worse than we did in the Yokohama derby. And now we're 6-1 up. We are 6-1 up despite that. Perales has put an absolute screamer in. He scored his first Yokohama goal after over a year at the club. And when your centre-half, who's never scored for you before, is putting a curler in the corner from 25 yards out, I think you know it's going to be your day. We have beaten Urawa 6-1. The stats would suggest it should have been 3-2. And at half time, we were 3-0 up when we probably should have been 2-1 down. The complete polar opposite to the game in the last episode, but a real statement of intent against one of the best sides in the league. Now we've got to get to Wednesday and hope everyone's fit. But first, let's see the injury to that right back. How bad is it? Fanaki's injured as well, but that's just 2 days. Achino, 5 to 6 weeks. Can't just be a perfect day, can it? But Luke's going to get the praise, so will Takahashi. And we'll be back in a minute for Wednesday night, a reunion with Mochizuki and Ueno. Well, we're back to face Shimizu, and 2 of our former players who were superstars last season and even at the start of this one. Fanaki's fitness is probably an indicator of what we're going to meet today. I'm hoping I've done enough to get enough people fit. Let's go and get through the fixtures because we're actually in a very good position at the moment. No one's doing that well at the top of the table. No one's storming clear. Vissel Kobe still at the best, but even they lost again at the weekend. And while there's a lot of the continental football going on for the others, it does make it a little more difficult for them to compete on all fronts, particularly given the fixture scheduling. So looking at the season so far, I feel pretty confident that we can have a competitive game here. For Shimizu, we know I've got Stardust in the team. Starting at centre half is Kenta Ueno, the former superstar and homegrown player here. He would be the best centre half at the club now. Up front, our player of the season from last year, our best performer, our best starter to this season, and our superstar youngster, Shunki Mochizuki. He has moved on. He scored 4 in 8 there already. He's had a pretty good start, hasn't he? And after getting over those initial injury problems when we had him on loan at Gifu, become a pretty dependable player. Looking at the rest of their team, we've got a king at left back. Who's that? Oh, an Australian international. Yeah, they're a different class to us, aren't they? We were looking at Funaki in the last game, and yeah, that's a different player. How we're beating some of these sides, I don't really know. I guess they may be prioritising getting a very strong 11 with superstar foreign players and Japanese ones like they've signed from us, but then what do they have after that? If they've got tired players, they've just got to keep playing them. Whereas maybe we're benefiting from not having to do that. Obviously, we've got Achino injured at right back, so he'll be replaced by Sekiguchi. We've still got Ando on the bench there. But everyone else was fit, and the only big decisions really are whether we make the change up front. So what I think I'm going to do here is just try and be clever. We're going to bring the 2 first teamers back in. So at left wing back we'll go for Suzuki. In midfield we'll go for Kralicki. But we will probably replace Sada on the bench with Yuri Lara. And then I look at the team that we're putting out. I'm going to give Agawa a rest up front. We'll switch Takahashi, who is quick and good enough in behind that he can do that role. And then we'll leave Agawa out for this one, just to try and rest the match load of certain players. But other than that, I'm not going to change too much. I'm going to keep it fairly fresh. And this is the team that I've gone for. It sees 4 changes from the last game. The 2 at wing back are enforced due to injuries. Kralicki is back in for Lara. That is strengthening the team. And then we dropped out Agawa, brought back the big target man, and moved Takahashi to the other role. Let's go and get through to Shimizu away. 2 of our former stars are hoping to pin us down. But let's hope that we don't get caught out by them. If anything, we should at least know how to defend against them. I've got to be honest, as those 2 are actually coming back into the team today, I'm not sure about Mochizuki's pace against our back 3, but maybe Go Natano can have a brilliant game in goal. We're going to get through to the first half. If we win this, we can start to dream about maybe this is a year for Europe, but I've got a feeling this game might go the other way. Despite the big win at the weekend, which can give false hope and false expectation, you saw it as well as I. We weren't brilliant. So let's hope after this game we can say something different. For 15 gone, they've had more of the shots, more of the ball, and our goalkeeper's the man of the match. But again, no chances on camera, no big highlights as Nakano wins it for the goalkeeper. Go Hatano with a big ball downfield. Takahashi flicks on. Sakaragawa can't get there. The only benefit here is we can win flick-ons on both sides, which we can't normally do, as Takahashi has got it at the back. Into midfield, and here's Kenta Ueno, the former star. Oh, I hate seeing him in a different shirt. He's a homegrown youngster as well, makes it more annoying. Oh, Takahashi's nicked it. He's got him one-on-one. Turns out from his man, it's composed play. Sekiguchi can put it in. Back across to Takahashi. The dream form continues for that man. Doesn't matter if he's a target man. Doesn't matter if he's an advanced forward. Takahashi is a goal machine at present. Fair play to Sekiguchi. He dropped out the team due to that signing. He's doing well, as Mochizuki just misses that one. But Takahashi's been brilliant, and the fact that he can play both roles, the fact that he's scoring and assisting goals, even there, didn't try and go for the big shot from 20 yards, knew he didn't have the legs, played it wide, got back in the box and made the run. Brilliant play, brilliant goal. But now we've got defending to do, and Haruka goes for a screamer. That's what Takahashi could have done at the other end, but thankfully he didn't, and we stay 1-0 up. As we're back in our own 6-yard box with Perales clearing it downfield, must have been from a corner or free kick or something, as Koke gets the ball in the middle to Takahashi. And it's up forward again, towards the right wing back. No one with him. Oh no. Big deflection into the corner. So much so it goes down as an Akano own goal. It was going wide at the far post and he sent it in at the near. Goalkeeper had the cross covered as well. Our former man Yazuki Hanya scoring to put Gifu ahead. And Urawa are bouncing back as well. And this is the problem in this league. We just can't stay consistent enough. Mochizuki's back there winning a header. Seko in, good tackle Nakano. But it's through to Mochizuki. Don't let it be him. Suzuki does well in the end. The clearance is awful from the keeper. It's back into midfield. Naraoka doesn't go for the long range strike this time. He plays wide to Kenta Ueno. It's ended up at right back here. Gets it into Nakayama. Back in again. Oh, this is infuriating. It's another game where we've done all right and we find ourselves behind. A big slice of fortune on their first goal. And look, maybe you're just not allowed to win with better expected goals in the first half. We've got 1.6 to their 1. But a big deflection, a big slice of luck, and a couple of wasted chances from us. And we're now 2-1 down. So we won an even game 6-1. We're now the better side in a game with 2-1 down. We lost 4-2 in a game we dominated against Yokohama FM. I mean, it's classic Football Manager. It's classic J-League football. I mean, I will say from watching the J-League a few years ago in real life, this is what it used to be like. End-to-end football, technical quality, lots of goals, and lots of inconsistency. You've got young players in the league, it's going to lead to it. But our experience here needs to shine as theatrical, gets it wide to Keita Suzuki. He should be fresh. Big ball pumped in. Takahashi's up. The keeper punches. I would have backed my two big men in there. As theatrical with a poor pass, but Sekiguchi does well. We're keeping the pressure on. We've got them penned in. Sekiguchi down the right again. Chance to cross the ball. To the byline he goes. It's in towards Solomon Sakaragawa. And he's hit the post as well. Put behind for a corner. We're playing really well here. But it's 2-1 to the host, and at the moment, we're getting FM'd. We're doing exactly now what Urawa had done to us last weekend. Dominated the first half and not taken advantage. As now they've got a chance to double their lead. Kenta Ueno with a throw on the right. Nicks it off theatrical. Delivers the cross. And Fitzwater clears away well. They're keeping the pressure on though. This game is starting to swing in momentum massively. End-to-end stuff. Plenty of good football. Oh, what a cross. Great save, Go Hatano. It's another one. Oh my word. A huge deflection again. How much bad fortune can you get in a game? We're 3-1 down, and 2 of the goals were not even going on target. Just huge deflections and slices of fortune, which are going to lead to us being defeated here. Seko gets the ball in midfield. Great effort. Good save, Go Hatano. And now, for very different reasons to last time, we've got to think about the weekend because this game might be lost. And in 3 days, we've got another big game against another top half side at home. So what do we do here? Sekiguchi, 1 yellow from a suspension. Do we think about him? We've got to look in defence as well. That's offside. Mochizuki scored, but you're not having that one, son. Definitely off. The referee's got to go to VAR. And this goal has got to be chalked away. Definitely wasn't on. There we go. The hand goes up. The goal is disallowed. I think we're going to make some subs in a minute because we've not been that effective tonight here. They are catching us on the expected goals, but you can't legislate for how those have gone in. Suzuki's nervous. He's not playing well, but probably going to leave him on. We're going to go Ando for Sekiguchi. We're going to go Chiba again for Fitzwater. Up front, I'm going to look after Takahashi, but Do I even need to take him off? I don't know. We'll go Ashida for Baluk first. We'll go Morishima for Theatrical. And then up front, I'm going to take off, Takahashi for Agawa. Everyone gets a little rest in the end this week. With 25 to go. I'm so disappointed with the manner of it, but what can you do? Atano with a big kick downfield. Nobody's getting there, are they? Agawa wins the flick on and proves me wrong, but it's not going to anyone. As King mops up there for the host. Shimizu doing well. And now they've got that luck and that fortune. You've got to be fair and say they're managing the game well at this point. It's been an unfortunate day, but I think we had all our luck in one go against Urawa. Aseko gets the ball in midfield. Do not let it get embarrassing. Good challenge from Ando. Morishima to Sakuragawa and wide to Suzuki. It's a lovely spread of the play, but they've got over quickly. So we go back on the other side. Ishida to Ando. Chance to cross. Agawa's in there. Drops down for Sakuragawa. Oh, he's missed an absolute sitter. 4 yards out. Half the goal was free. And he puts it straight at the keeper. A Suzuki. Breaks down the left-hand side. Into Ishida. Another chance to shoot. Back to Kralicki. He shoots. It deflects, but it goes onto the post. So their 2 deflections take it in. And R1, yep, outside of the post. Why not? So frustrating. So unfortunate. As Nakano, I tell you what, you could lay it back here. He doesn't though. Sakuragawa's up. And he misses another one. It's not been his day. So we're 10 to go here. We're actually a goal up on the expected goals. It's been quite remarkable, really. Lots of flares in the Japanese crowds, I've noticed. I don't remember seeing that in real life, but very funny that this game we've dominated and come out with what looks like a heavy defeat at the minute. And then to win 6-1 when your expected goals was half that. It's a funny old game, isn't it? Ishida into Kralicki, it's another great save. That'll probably put the expected goals over 3. We've really been that good. Yeah, it has as well. How are we 3-1 down? I finished this episode in the same way as the last. How are we losing away to some of these big teams? I mean, we've got to be thrilled. We're competing in every game. That's onside. Right back played him on. Good save, Atano. Oh, he's given a free kick. I mean, we're competing with every side, but these games against the top teams, they're just too ruthless for us. Yes, they got luck in this one. I'll never know how we lost it, but overall, I'm quite happy with 3 points out of 6, but the way they've worked out is very odd. Gifu did lose again. They're at risk this season if someone at the bottom goes on a run. And we're back down to 4th. It's very tight in that top half. Let's go and have a look at the schedule and see when we're going to be back, because at least we didn't get any injuries today. We have got a big old month coming up. We know that the All Japan Cup is coming. Oh, that's a good episode. Look at that. Middle of June. Vissel Kobe, the champions away. And Gifu, our former club at home, who beat us for the first time since we left earlier this season. That is the double header. There's no doubt about that. We'll then get through to the transfer window and the big run at the end of the year. Can we go all out for the Japanese Cup? Can we get a lucky draw? We'll find out when we return. If you did enjoy this one though, a 6-1 win in an even game and a 3-1 defeat in a game we dominated, as well as seeing 2 of our former stars at Shimizu, then please do put a thumbs up on it. I think that double header summed up FM perfectly, and the joys and despair of football when things go right or wrong. If you want to stay up to date and see how the rest of the season goes and whether it will continue to be this topsy-turvy, then please do subscribe and turn that notification bell on. Are we going to miss out on continental football through agony again? It will look like it if we keep throwing games like that away. In the meantime though, before we return in a couple of days' time, we will be back with our Southend United save tomorrow. We had our start to the season and deadline day the last 2. You can find the playlist up in the eye above. There's also links there to the Twitch channel and the football podcast. And please do check out our partner HelloFresh. 60% off your first box while supporting the channel too. If you're in the UK, give it a go. We have it regularly and enjoy it. I hope you will as well. Thank you very much for watching, your support as always. It's been a fun old start to the season. There's definitely going to be some pretty big highs or lows in this one. We had 2 in 1 episode there, but we get the same next time out. I'll see you there to find out.